Welcome back to podcast number 12 of the Midwest Outdoor Experience podcast. We have done this for a whole year. How the heck are you doing, Austin?
I'm doing wonderful. It's hard to believe it's been a year.
It's been a fast year, as they typically just tend to keep going faster and faster. I'm sure everybody's already noticed, Ryan is joining us. Ryan was our fill-in for our first for the first Winter Series tournament because Austin was preoccupied. We might get into that a little bit later, but yeah, so we have a third guy just joining right out the gate. But Ryan,
how you doing?
Good.
I'm doing good. Just having a busy evening with the kid, building some IKEA furniture, and now I'm here.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah, thanks for having me hop in here since I came out and helped filled in for Austin and helped Nate out and kept the show on the road so you guys didn't have to cancel and move the tournament to a different date.
Can't thank you enough for that because Austin and I have talked about it a lot, and it's really not easy to do a reschedule with our busy enough schedule. So a lot of times it just ends up as a cancellation.
Yeah.
So you helped the tournament continue with a fifth tournament. So thanks again for that.
Yeah, no problem.
But
glad I was able to make it and fill in, and everything worked out with my schedule, so that's good.
Absolutely. So kind of a shorter podcast probably tonight. We're going to kind of touch on a couple of different things. A big review of the December 6th first Winter Series tournament. And I kind of got some notes in on that. And then we're going to jump into kind of what we think, some predictions for the next tournament. And also just kind of talk maybe possible strategy. And I got some stuff written down here. So we're just going to kind of go over everything as we go. But real quick, Austin, I forgot to ask you, as I normally do, have you done any fishing since our last podcast?
Since our last one, I think I went once, which is unfortunate. I've only gone once.
Happens.
But yeah, getting busy. I didn't bass fish too much, though. I bass fished a little bit, caught a few different ways, rock crawler on a jig. I don't think I ever caught one on an A-rig or a jerkbait, but I had some really interested looking at it. But I didn't fish super organized for bass. I started off fishing and just kind of fishing in my cove where I last left off, kind of see where those fish were, how things were looking. That was kind of my plan, is then set me up to figure out where I wanted to go or what I should maybe look for.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided to crappie fish a little bit because that's been pretty good. And there's millions of crappie on the lower end. But it's a little bit of a struggle to get the size for the crappie. So it took me on a bit of a side quest, and I had to run like 10 miles or so to kind of a different area that I've had success in before. And I know there's usually some good crappie there, and did okay. Caught my limit pretty quick after that. But then I mulled around a little bit and fished kind of by like Buck Creek area, that section, and found some good spots with a lot of fish, but I didn't have much time to mess with them.
I see. Out of curiosity, were those crappie related to like a bunch of shad? Did you see a bunch of bait in the water, or were you
just fish I was targeting? No. There were some crappie that were relating to shad, like in my cove, not out in the open necessarily, but by the condo docks.
Yeah.
All the fish I was catching, at least the better ones, I should say, that I was catching were related to the chains on wave breaks.
The chains on wave breaks. Gotcha.
Chains, yeah. That's where they were. It was windy that day. They were pushed into it. A lot of times I find the crappie on the non-windy side.
Yeah.
Which works out well because you're on the wave break.
Sure.
It's really easy. But for some reason that day they were on the windy side. So it was also a pain to, if anyone fishes wave breaks, they usually have big old bars off them, and they're not boat friendly at all. And they have zero give. So if your boat hits it, you're gel coat.
Yeah.
So you had to really position yourself against the wind. It was a bit of a process, but ended up getting decent on them to where I was catching, 5 or 6 pretty quick. And then I'd have to move just a little bit and catch it.
That's what I was going to ask. Was it, what was were the schools where they, sometimes they'll be related to one thing and suddenly they shift somewhere else.
Oh, they didn't
scope around for them, so they were locked onto one thing.
They didn't move.
You were able to pick off a couple.
Yeah, the schools. I wish I had a picture on my phone. I don't think I do. I got a video that's going to be coming out of it
Tomorrow, right?
I had it hopefully tomorrow. I need to film an intro for it because it was kind of goofy. But there's like schools of hundreds of crappie, but they would like one or two would come out and eat.
Mhm.
You know? But eventually, like one or two would come out and they would just follow it, and would kind of stop. So I would move up another set of chains and then catch a couple out of there and then rinse it
Move again.
kind of.
Two questions come to mind. One, what number date was this? You remember?
What was the date?
Yeah, what was the date?
Let me look at my calendar here. Hang on. It was the 9th.
Nice. Okay, so slightly after our tournament.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit because today's the 17th, I believe.
Yeah.
So, second question: were any of the crappie open water crappie at all, like not related to the chains?
Not really. No. I did find a few open water crappie that were like kind of in a few spots that we've fished before, but there's not a bunch there yet, and there's very small amounts of shad. So I think to really get the open water crappie, you need
Shad.
huge balls of shad. But for most people probably know, like you go in your big creeks like Lick Branch or Jackson or Downing and all that up by the dam. If anyone's familiar with those, like those a lot of times have shad in the guts of those actual creek channels because it's so big and so long, and that's kind of where those shad park themselves. But I was checking some spots that weren't huge creeks, if that makes sense, where they just kind of randomly stack up sometimes, and that's just a good spot because people don't go check there. So
Gotcha.
That's kind of what I was looking for as far as that goes. So I guess answer your question, I didn't make it to the back of like major areas to check.
I gotcha. I see. I'm looking forward to hopefully that happening again because I think it was 22 when we had some epic open water crappie
I'm
bites.
pretty sure. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but
Yeah, don't say it.
a great winter for it should be for bass too, but definitely I think for crappie. Like I said, just on the lower end, for some reason it's just the size. There's a ton of small ones, which I will be curious to see when it really does get cold into like January, if some of those fish are still there, are still really small, or like if they seem to kind of disappear, like the small ones, and you can only catch the big ones.
It does seem to be that way, especially as you get deeper into winter. But
but we'll see if that holds true. But if not, then we know the next like couple of years are going to be just lights out.
Were the small ones you were catching, or you say, sometimes we say small as 9 inches. We don't like to keep the ones that squeak a limit. Are they under limit, or are they like limit squeaker?
There was some under limit, and then there's just squeakers that were 9, like right at 9 inches, and I tossed a bunch of those back.
Yeah.
Good question.
Were the keepers on the like 10 to 11 or more like the 11 to 12 inch?
They were more like 10.
10.
I would say most of them
pretty good.
10. I think I caught like a couple that were like 10, 11, real thick, starting to get thick on the shoulders.
Good.
And
Good eaters.
And those fish, when I cleaned them, the thicker ones, they were females. They had eggs started. So
awesome.
Well,
I hope that it's a good crappie year. I know I went with you guys once last year and it was terrible. So hopefully we could return some luck to the good side that we've had in the years past. And when I have my break coming up, kind of for Christmas and New Year's, hopefully I can make it out there with you guys and
normally we bring
fill the freezer with some crappie.
And last year we said, don't even come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came anyways, and you were right.
I've specifically told people like, hey, this is not the year. I'm so sorry. It's not that I don't want to take you, but I don't want to waste your time.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad enough that I'm going to be out here for 8 hours and I might catch 2 or 3 fish, but I don't want to waste your day because
I can't remember if we did catch any keepers that day. We had them in the live well. At the end of the day, we had so few. We're like, not worth wasting time cleaning them, put them back in the water.
Yeah, I feel like we caught like two or 3, and we talked to some other people. We happened to run into somebody that's like grew up right behind where I live on the lake, and talked to him, and I think they caught like 1 or 2 as well. And so we were just struggling.
Okay, well, I'm gonna break into Austin. feel free. We didn't talk about this, but to share as much or as little as you want to. But I kind of got this down in the review of our tournament of a couple of steps. And step one, for anybody, it's going to be a little bit of story time here. So step one, I have wrote down the stress. I had a half day at work, so I was getting off at 11, and it was going to be basically, get to the lake and pre-fish. And I think Austin had the same plan in mind, or he'd be a little bit later because he had other stuff going on. Don't know if he wants to get into it or not. But basically, he sends me a text and he says, "Hey, call me when you get a second." And I was like, "Okay, wonder what this is about." And I call him at 12 minutes before I get off work, and he basically says, "I'm not going to be able to make it. Something has come up, and you're going to have to run the tournament, and Ryan's going to help you." And I was like, "Oh boy." So my breath was taken a little bit away, but it was a serious matter. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. I don't mind at all. I mean, the show must go on. So, but Austin takes care of a lot of the, I don't know, little bits and pieces here and there. Like he had the money. He had to go to the bank still. He had all of the stuff loaded in his truck at his house. So basically I was like, yeah, no big deal. I'll go home. I get my truck. I load up. Well, I loaded up most of my stuff besides the important things that I forgot, which adds to the stress later. But I live in Fenton, so I drive all the way to Washington, where Austin lives, and I'm going to go to his house, and I'm like, I'm going to stop at the bank. I get 45 minutes down the road, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot my freaking wallet. So I got to go to the bank, and I need to withdraw a good sum of cash, and I go to the window, and I was like, hey, I need this many bills, this many bills, this many bills. And they're like, yeah, you got your ID? And I was like, no, I actually left it in Fenton. And they're like, you really need your ID. I was like, is there any other way we can do this? Because I'm running a fishing tournament and I don't want to drive an hour and a half to go get my wallet. So please. And thankfully, by the grace of God, they actually gave me the money. So thankfully, they were nice enough and good enough to do that for me. But then from there, I had to fly over to Austin's house, which isn't too much further. And at this time, I realized I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot all my food for the weekend. So I was like, man, I'm really failing right now. Cause I'm thinking in my head, I was like, okay, I gotta make sure the merchandise, I'm trying to run through all these steps in my head like I always try to do. And in the meantime, I'm going to Austin's. So I get Austin's garage code. I raid his truck. I go down to his office. I get the binder. I get the money bags. I get everything that we normally would get. Kind of go over our final checklist. And thankfully, my parents live 5 minutes from Austin. So I was like, and they were in Mexico. So I was like, well, they'll just have to be okay with this. I went to their house and I raided their pantry, and I walked out with a jar of peanut butter, a thing of ramen noodles, and some granola. And
stale Cheerios.
And some stale chocolate Cheerios that expired back in March. So that's what I had for food for the weekend. So from there, I started, I had a great debate with myself. I was like, okay. I really need my wallet because Austin told me his boat's got maybe a half a tank. It was a quarter of a tank, by the way.
Yeah, I was unsure of how much I had.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get fuel. That's not a big deal. So right away, I'm like, okay, surely one of these gas stations on the lake will take cash because I had cash from the bank. I took out a little extra for boat fuel. And then I was like, I'll figure that out when I get there. Because I was like, I'm not driving an hour and a half round trip back and forth to get my wallet. I was like, I'm just not doing it. I wanted to get up there and try to pre-fish, which ended up not happening because I had too much to do. But anyway, so then that part kind of combines into the number 2. I call it the boat fueling. So I got pretty lucky. I finally got on the water. I got the boat launched, all my tackle brought down, stuff brought into his place, and I get down there. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because nobody takes cash on the water. And so I ended up getting a call from Bo Harris, Bojangle Baits, and he asked if he could launch at a different tournament and then still fish in hours and whatever. We had a discussion, and I said, no, you got to launch with us and make it up to us. And so they ended up not fishing, but I said, hey, can I ask a huge favor? I was like, I need somebody to lend me their gas cards, and I'll pay you cash in return. And he's like, okay, hold on, let me see if I can do it. And then he ended up calling Tyler Pohl, and Tyler was a little bit closer, I think, and available. So Tyler met me over at the Village Marina, 2 coves over. and I tipped him rather nicely because he was my boat fueling savior. Otherwise, our third option was Ryan was going to get there. I think you got there at like 8:30, Ryan.
It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock,
And
something like that.
it was going to be Operation Fuel in the Dark, and that didn't
Yeah.
sound very fun when it was like 30 degrees. So that part was, kind of the boat, the setup for the tournament day. But then after that, I go into number 3, which is the setup. And so if you don't know, when we fish our tournaments, Austin usually drives the boat to Kaufman via basically all the way from the dam. And I take the truck with all the equipment, all the tents, all the tables. And so obviously Austin wasn't there. So I had to fill in Austin's role. So I became the boat driver and Ryan became the truck driver. And I remember Austin always saying, okay, if I can just make it through without hitting anything, I'll be okay. And really, I did pretty good. Thank God it was like just after a full moon. So I had decent amount of light. It wasn't really bad until I turned the bend to like aim towards Kaufman. And I was like, wow, it's really dark out here.
Yeah, there's nothing on that stretch.
Nothing at all. But so I got that taken care of. Ryan was there. He did great. And then we start setting up. And I think we were pretty much set up pretty well before 6 o'clock, because was when we start to take registrations. And then, classic, just the chaos. I was kind of explaining, like how we do things, money bag for apparel, our little cash bag to make change. Fun tip for anybody who cares. If you bring exact change, we love you to death for our tournaments. If you bring exactly $120 cash, a little extra $20 here or there for a shirt or hat if you don't have one, we love you to death. It just makes our lives a little less stressed. But we can break change if you can't. So, but yeah, so basically the signups and everything went pretty smooth, I thought. Ryan, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I had never helped out with anything. So the night before I got to the lake, we did our powwow for about 30 minutes, said, here's the game plan. This is what's going to happen tomorrow. This is kind of the process. It's like, all right, yeah, that doesn't sound too hard. Pretty easy, right? Yeah, so we got there, like you said, all set up and started the registration with people who were pre-registered showing up, new people selling merchandise and whatever. And overall, I mean, everything went pretty darn smooth. I don't recall ever having a huge line of people. Maybe a few times there was, 4 or 5.
Yeah, they seem to come in waves.
And then it worked pretty good with you were having them fill out the paper if they weren't already registered.
Mhm.
And then I was going through and picking out their little post-it for their boat number and having one of the anglers sign the waiver, which was a new thing that you guys have tried to implement this year.
Mhm.
And then just keeping track of the apparel that was sold by or people what they bought and keeping an inventory so that whenever the next tournament comes around, you guys have appropriate amounts of stuff.
For sure.
So we definitely did learn that the beanies were a hot topic. Those were the first. There's only 5, and those were the first 5 things bought.
Good news, we already got more ordered, and they're already in. So we will have more beanies at the next tournament.
There are plenty of T-shirts. One of the things like, long sleeve T-shirts. Like, yeah, it's probably not a bad idea because it's winter. So there are plenty of T-shirts for the next round. And I guess there is a decent amount of hats left. I wouldn't say a ton, but I'm assuming you guys got more of those on the way. But yeah, overall, I mean, for us having just a little 30-minute thing the night before of what the game plan is and basically diving right into it, you guys have a pretty good system that's set up and works well because, I was able to come in with zero knowledge of what's going on, and we did just fine. We didn't drown, we didn't die.
Yeah, absolutely. We kept
and
our
then
heads above
obviously trying to. So I wasn't able to fish. I had to come back home to Columbia, take care of my daughter so my wife could get some sleep.
Yep.
So I was helping Nate launch, and then just trying to get you out on the water in time, or us on the water in time, so we could launch everyone. After you give the spiel and all that stuff.
And I want to pick up the story there real quickly because point 4 for me was the launch, and that was hilarious because again, Austin's usually the microphone guy, the megaphone guy. I'm sorry, and I'm the video camera guy. And then I usually have the boat numbers written on my hand, trying to like, hey, this boat's not here, or And so I'm trying to do it, and Ryan's trying to film me, and then hilariously, we didn't have it all set up right. His camera dies. So, and then his other camera dies. I was like, well, don't worry, my GoPro on my chest is going, so we're still good. But I made an announcement that, hey, Austin was absent. And finally, I got to give him a shout out. Eric Wood, I guess later, I can't remember if it was later in the day or what, but he goes, man, if you didn't tell me that wasn't Austin, I thought something was different about that guy. For anybody who doesn't know, Austin and Ryan are brothers. So they even wear the same clothes when they go on podcast together.
Look at this.
Well,
wow.
Would you ever know?
That's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
If you ever come to Washington, Missouri, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very delicious. But anyway, so after the launch, Bullet Point 5, I started fishing. I dropped Ryan off so he could go help his wife and take care of his daughter. And then I headed out to fish, and I kind of got it summed up a little bit like this. So I started off the morning in a familiar place where Austin and I had fished before, and it was not foggy for us. Not too bad, I should say. When I got into Jackson, that's where I went, was the fog actually got a little thicker. So I kind of slowed down a little bit, and I started about midway back, and I started on a secondary point. And I was just like, I'm gonna try a couple of secondaries because again, I had no pre-fishing the day before, and it was my maiden voyage fishing trip since September. So I've been out of the loop for a little while, other than info from these podcasts that I've been lucky enough to talk to some good fishing individuals, Austin included. So, and I ended up with 2 keepers right before the first hour mark. And I was like, well, this is going to be a great day, with keeper number 1 being a 4-pound even on the scale. And I was pretty excited. It was kind of funny. I come down, I was on the inside, I'd say within the first 100 yards of a secondary point, and on the inside of the first dock. And that fish was maybe 6 feet off the bank. And I feel like I got about 2 cranks in, and she smacked it, and there was no hesitation. And then there was actually a boat on just the other side of the dock, and I happened to notice it. If you checked out our tournament video, you'll see the clip. Maybe you'll see the boat, maybe you won't. I know it's in there. But eventually they ended up going around because I kept throwing back in there because I was seeing some fish on the scope. But then I ended up going around, and then where that boat was, I caught my second keeper like right after that. Both A-rig fish. And I told Austin this later in the day. I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, I can normally scope my rig and watch it so well. And, you'll see either followers, you'll see the fish basically swim up into it. It looks like they're swimming through it. And you're like, are these fish even athletic? Can they even eat this bait? And, but for whatever reason, when I was shining at the fish, they would just either follow or swim off. But whenever I would see them and then turn my scope away, that's when I was getting my bites. And so I kind of caught onto that early. And I was mostly just using my scope for reference to know, hey, there's a brush pile over there. I was trying to throw back dock corners, and just where a lot of people probably aren't getting their rigs. I feel like I get a lot of bites that way. So that was kind of the pattern I ran. After those 2 keepers, I caught, I hit a place where Austin absolutely loves to throw a jig. And so I just felt obligated. He actually called me on the phone.
Give up.
And I won't say it. But it is in the video, so if somebody's kind of really good, they'll figure it out. But don't worry, I'll save you some time. If you go there, you're wasting your time. It's all dinks.
Yeah, you are wasting your time if you're there.
It's a daycare. I'm telling you, 14 and under, if you want to catch some fish, boy, it's fun. But that's all you're going to catch. But I had to pick up the jig, and I did well right out the gate. I caught 2 or 3 of them. And then I was like, okay, it's time to get out of here. These aren't tournament quality fish. So time to make a move. And again, I had talked to Austin, and he told me he had luck in another cove last time he was there. And I hadn't been since September. So I was like, sure, I'll take any tip and advice that he's going to give. I was like, I'll go that way. I went there, and that's when I move into my late morning, and it definitely slowed down for me. And that chunk of my day, those next 2 hours, I wasted a lot of time. I caught a couple of fish out of a brush pile on the A-rig again. But the wind just was not there like the day before from some of the anglers I've talked to. And that wind really helped with that A-rig bite. Obviously, the day before, moving baits, probably the same way, any other moving bait. And it just wasn't quite as windy as I would have liked it to be for the rig. And I ended up catching 3 shorts. And then I probably spent 2.5 hours in that cove. And by the time I was done, I was like, I got to get out of here. I'm just I'm just trying my hardest and nothing's happening. And that's when I was like, man, if Austin was here, he would have been like, all right, we got to punt by now. But I got in my own head. I was like, no, there's another spot. There's another spot. I got to try that out. And it wasn't happening. So I punted and I threw my A-rig and I went out to the main lake a little bit. I like fishing the main lake in the wintertime. And I get out there and the wind was coming up from the south and the sun was actually beating on the bank. And I was like, my gosh, that looks like rock crawler bite to me. So I pick it up and first cast, boom, I catch a short. And then second cast, boom, I catch a third keeper. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe the rock crawler's turning on. And so I run that bite for probably another hour and a half. And that was the only 2 fish I caught. And I was just like, oh my gosh, why did I waste all that time on that? And that's where it's nice if you have another person in the boat, you can, kind of be like, maybe it was a fluke, or, hey, I'm going to try this. And then, hey, maybe he catches something and you're like, oh, new pattern, new idea. That's where I struggle, but that's just me. And then early afternoon, I tried to throw everything because I just wanted to see what was going on. I ended up throwing the jerk bait. I caught him on the jerk bait. Caught him on the A-rig, caught him on the jig. Did not catch one on the shaky head, which is rare for me. I did not throw the Ned rig, which is rare for me. But I feel like I probably almost could have got away with top water. The water temperature was 54, and there was partly cloudy, partly sunny. So if you would have got it just right, you probably could have got one on a Chapo or a walking bait or any top water. But I never did it. Again, that might have been a good encourager if Austin was there to actually do it. But I ended early. I ended up going in at 150 because we had a team that was in another tournament that needed to weigh their fish early. So I got back. I met Ryan back at the ramp. He had the table set up, the scale set up. We started getting the money all ready to go for the prizes. We weighed in their fish. And then it was time for the weigh-in for everybody else. And again, we had 46 boats in the first tournament. So it was busy. Kaufman was packed. I felt like from basically when I put on my rubber gloves for grabbing fish out of the slop sink, I felt like I was grabbing fish from 3:15 to 4 o'clock. And it got a little bit crazy. But after we got everybody weighed in, we did the prizes, and I thought everything went pretty well overall. I don't know, Ryan, what did you think of the weigh-in?
Yeah, I think it went really smooth. What time was weigh-in again? 3:30?
3:30 is official.
3:30. Yeah, I think we had a few people show up early, not too many, but yeah, it got pretty hectic there for a while. Like you said, I do feel like it was constant bang, 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 weigh-in fish the whole time. I think you made a comment that this specific tournament was like you guys had the most people weigh in out of all your other previous tournaments. I don't remember how many people actually weighed in, but out of the 46, if I remember from the score paper right, I don't know, maybe 10 or so didn't weigh any fish. So, I mean, that was a pretty good haul. I mean, everyone caught pretty good bags for the most part. And we did see a lot of healthy fish and a lot of people having some pretty good luck. And then obviously there's some people who are competing for the 5 smallest limit thing where, hey, they got their limit, but they were small and that's okay.
I think
unfortunately, Nate could not weigh in his striper honey hole that he hit, or his white bass where he caught 10 or so. But yeah, the weigh-in process overall, I thought it was really good. It does get pretty hectic with everyone trying to get up there, launch their boats, and all that stuff. So just always be cognizant of your time if you have a bag to weigh in, and make sure you get into the scales on time.
Yeah, and I'll bring that up now. I did have two teams that brought me fish after 4 o'clock, and it's 100% my fault on the fact that I wasn't up 100% on the rules where our scales close at 4 o'clock. So I was thinking of if you come in the buoys 5 minutes late, it's a minute, or it's a pound per minute. Correct, Austin?
For the buoys, it's a pound per minute. Yes, if you come in and you're late.
Yeah.
But
I read it wrong, and I took that as the weigh-in. And so I weighed a team's fish in, and then I was like, oh, there's a 7-minute penalty. And that's when it clicked in my head, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. So I went back to it, and the rules state that you have to weigh in your fish within 30 minutes of the weigh-in time, which the weigh-in time for that tournament was 3:30. So it means you had to be there by 4. Austin can pull up our rules that we have made very clear now for everyone, that you must weigh your fish in by 4 p.m. And then if you're going to be late, because again, this is Kaufman. There's 2 truck slips. There's 2 courtesy docks. The one courtesy dock is surrounded by cedar trees from people fishing and sinking brush trying to catch fish that way. Totally fine, but it can be a little bit hard to get in. But our phone numbers are available, or just drop your partner off on the courtesy dock and say, hey, we're going to be just a couple minutes late, and let us know your boat number so we know to wait for you. And then within reason, we will wait for you. Your screen loading there.
Yeah. So let me show you how to get to this. So you go to the winners website, MidwestOutdoorExperience.com, click Winter Series, go to your rules.
Mm-hmm.
You can scroll down, and we have all the rules in here, which you should familiarize yourself with. But we changed it to this part right here. We've made it more clear because it was you must be in line 30 minutes from the weigh-in time with your fish. So now we've changed it to you have to be in line within 30 minutes after the weigh-in start, which that has not changed, or you have to have notified us that you have fish to be weighed in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't, let us know that you have fish to be weighed in, or you're not in line after that 30-minute period, the scales, they're closed. That's, we're not weighing any more fish. So if you don't make it in that window, then you'll still receive your show up points, but you're not going to get any place points. You're not going to get what your fish weighed. And I believe Nathan ended up weighing some fish.
I weighed one of the 2 teams of fish.
That's kind of what started they kind of were like, oh, we got screwed. We're upset or whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, 3:30 is the start of the weigh-in. So you have to be within the buoys at 3:30, which we have here. So if you're 1 second late, that's considered late, would be a 1 pound penalty. So don't cut it that close if you don't have to. That's my advice to you, is get in at 3:20 or get in at 3:15. So you have plenty of time to get situated if you have a good bag of fish, One thing, if you don't have fish, or you're missing your 5th keeper and you're trying to get that last couple casts in to catch the last keeper, because that happens a lot. But if you've got a good limit, don't burn yourself doing that, essentially.
For sure. And it's really, at the end of the day, I mean, yes, you have to time budget. Everybody wants to fish until the very last second as much as you possibly can. I totally get it. But the angler is responsible for getting in line. Austin and I have no control over that. And again, it's just us 2 running the tournament. We're not really necessarily looking for help. We think we can kind of do things fairly smooth on our own, and I think we do a decent job at it. But yeah, our ask is, if you think it's going to be, because 46 boats fills Kaufman up, like I said, and it can be a little hectic, get in there at 3:15. We usually got the scales pretty much ready to go by 3:15. We might still be counting prize money or something, but if that's the case, and especially if we're going to be getting all these people weighing fish, we'll start going. And as long as you're in line, you qualify anyway. Rather that line's 20 people long or 25 people long, I don't think it would get that long. But just go ahead and get in line, or let us know. And then that will prevent any kind of hiccups or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, it was every boat that weighed fish besides 2 made it. So I know things happen, and I know that it can be kind of hectic there. But at the end of the day, it is the angler's responsibility to make sure they get in time, especially if you have a good bag. Come on in early. We don't care.
Yeah. And while we're on here too, while people are looking at this, if you go under the Winter Series, it's a good place to go down here to your tournament off-limit areas. This is just a map of all of it. I know we've talked about this before. Alhana Cove is simple, and Kaufman Cove is simple, but the PB2 one's a little bit more complex. Got the underwater hump there that's off limits too. So we also want to reiterate, we haven't had any issues with it, but reiterate that if you see somebody fishing the off limits areas or something, take a picture, take a video or something.
Yep.
have definitive proof. Because I will take it back. Last year we did have a team that fished in Alhana, and they had a good bag of fish, and
They just didn't know it.
they came to weigh in, and I guess somebody let them know, or somehow they found out that, hey, maybe somebody asked them where they caught them. I don't know. And then they found out that, oh crap, we fished in the off limits area. So they came up and said, hey, we were fishing in the off limits area, like we're DQing ourselves. So
We appreciate the honesty.
yeah, definitely
Yeah,
appreciate
so
that.
that's really great. That's the
And,
one.
I mean, like it
owned up
happens.
to their
Like, I
mistake.
get it, but if you're not, they didn't know, they weren't familiar with the rules like they should have, or they didn't pay attention in the morning at the sign up when we have all this stuff laid out. So
Yeah.
try and
The,
get everyone on the same page to look at the off limits and read the rules and know the rules, so there's no discrepancies.
These are all on our table tournament morning. If you come when you come to check in, sign in, these are all taped to our table, all three of these images, so you can get a clear look. And Austin, go to the Kaufman one real fast. I actually had one guy ask me about the dock on the far south side of that line. He's like, so is that dock off limits? And I had to look out there, and I was like, hold on.
Yeah,
I had to see. But yes, I said that dock, basically from that dock in, is off limits.
correct.
So basically, though, overall, tournament ran really well. We heard a lot of good things. It kind of cracked me up. I think I heard somebody say in the background, we were reading the results. Basically, we're like, how many prizes do you guys have? There was a couple of people that didn't know about Big Spot. Again, we paid Big Spot, smallest 5. We have a peril bonus. Thanks to Steve Sigmund and the Weekend Bass Fisherman Group, we have that wonderful prize. Again, thanks to Steve, because that's 100% funded by him. A lot of ways to win. This is not a have to be the best of the best to win kind of tournament. And that's why we structured it like this, because Austin and I are no professionals. And we probably belong on some amateur make fun show for how bad we are.
Definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is. It is like you said, you do have a lot of opportunities to win, and the prizes that you guys give at the end of the year are also phenomenal. But if you are good, or maybe you're confident that you're good, you guys have a really good show up. And if you're wanting to actually win some kind of pretty good amount of cash, like totally come to the tournaments. And you like if you place, you do get a pretty sizable amount of money. I think first place in this last one was like $1,500. So I think the top 3 were above or close to $1,000, and then even 6th place was I forget exactly how much.
Or so.
Yeah, it was
what you paid.
It was a decent, at least your money back and a little extra. So if someone has never fished your tournament and you feel like you can give some of these people a run for their money, whether it's a week to week basis or overall. Absolutely join in, because each week has a great payout. And then thanks to the sponsors that you guys have, the overall prizes at the end of the year are also phenomenal. Even year one, when you guys didn't have as much, sponsorship money, there's really no skimping on the, first place overall prize, second place overall, and stuff like that. It was all really good stuff.
Yeah. It's
stuff that you'll use throughout your fishing adventures. It's not just some dumb stuff. It's, high-end rods, good reels, stuff like that.
Yeah. 100%. So overall, the tournament, I think we did good. Missing Austin from the equation. I was so glad to have Ryan to fill in, but I think it went really well. So I know Austin's got the itch for the one on the 27th.
Yeah,
because
that one.
He'll have his maiden voyage for the series.
The weather is expected to be warm, which is good.
Knock on wood.
I mean, calling the whole time is going to be a big trough of warm air for Christmas time. So hopefully the weather stays that way.
100%.
We have a great turnout. I think we've got. I'd have to look through and total up how many pre-registers for the next one.
Yeah,
but I think we're probably close to 20.
That's good. That's already good. I was going to say, talking about this next tournament, obviously would love to break the 50 boat mark. Would love to see the 50 boat mark in pre-registers, because if you didn't know, if you pre-register at our website, which is at the top, and I think it's at the bottom too, you automatically qualify for gifts, prizes, not gifts. But first place that we draw just randomly is Tackle Warehouse gift cards. You get one for each guy, $25 for each guy. And then the second place drawing is braid scissors. What brand scissors are those?
They're like little Cast King scissors, but they're really nice.
Cast
I've been
King.
using them for a couple of years.
So some Cast King scissors and E-Factor jigs and buzzbait, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a little giveaway. It really just benefits us, so we don't have to like handwrite your name in the morning. Like obviously we're going to, but it just makes it a lot quicker. And honestly, you get launched a little bit quicker, so you get a couple extra minutes of your morning bite if you go ahead and pre-register. But I wanted to share that with everybody. And then obviously, if you didn't buy any in the first tournament, if you were rushed, if you didn't bring enough cash, we had quite a few people say that they're going to buy at the next tournament. Don't forget your cash, but buy some apparel and qualify for the Mo bonus. Another way to win. So last tournament we paid 6 places, and I actually forgot to even mention it, but I know Ryan and I checked it because we said, hey, which one's the Mo bonus? And they didn't have a shirt or a hat, so they didn't get their money back. So that is a huge way to win your money back. If you just have one of our Winter Series hats or a shirt or now the stocking caps. And we actually did, as long as you're buying it again for this year, we mark you down, but we have some old shirts and stuff if you like the old designs too.
It's easy money.
It's easy. And you get a nice cool hat or shirt.
The other easy money thing was the whatever Steve attributed to
Weekend Bass Fisherman.
Yeah, we went through, I think, at least 6 or 7 people that were not subscribed to the list or whatever. So the 7th person was the lucky one that got that money.
Yeah.
So anyone who would have just subscribed to that, because we were, is this one? Oh no, not that one. Oh, that next one. We just kept going. It's like, man, are we ever going to find one?
If you're on Facebook,
it's a super easy. Doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
Literally
bass fishermen, because a lot of good information. Steve puts a lot of fishing reports out. Mm-hmm. We put some out on there when we can. There's some other people put it on there. There's good information. It's a good way to stay on top of what's happening at the lake, and you kind of get various parts where people fish and kind of how things are looking in that area, just to help you, because a lot of people don't live at the lake or get to go out super often, so you kind of have these dead spots of, what changed since I was gone. So those type of things are super valuable, and
absolutely,
the Weekend Bass Fisherman is totally free, and you can win money now just for being a part of it and finishing out of the money.
And the one kicker is you'll have to kind of be on social media a little bit. Usually the week of, you'll see Steve make a Facebook post, and he'll say something along the lines of, comment what you think the winning weight of the Winter Series Tournament 2 will be. And I think that's how you qualify, if I'm not mistaken. That's how he did it. He took a list of all the members and made sure that obviously they were members, and then took all the people who commented and then wrote their names down, and we went through that list. So just another easy way to make a little bit of extra money. So on top of that, again, we had the big spotted bass. Somebody told me they caught one that was like just under 3 pounds, and they threw it back.
I remember that.
I was like, you lost $150. Darn it. But no, so there's so many ways. And then the smallest 5, and I'm always going to joke that that's the one I'm after, because I'll catch my 5 spots. I'll throw every last one of Austin's keepers out of that live well.
At the end of the day, you only have 4 spots.
Don't you say that. Here goes the banter. We haven't had a tournament together yet. There'll be more in the next video, I promise. But so many good ways to win. So, okay, real quick, I want to do a I planned this all out on Monday, so it might be off a little bit. But as of Monday, the surface temperature at the dam, I don't know if I believe this or not. According to Ameren's website, it said it was 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which seems rather warm still.
That's probably about right.
End of December. And then the lake level was 656.3. So, your classic winter drawdown. And then as of right now, this was again Monday, the predicted weather for our tournament was 39 degrees in the morning with a high of 50 with suns and clouds, with the wind out of the west-southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, again, that's 12 days out from Monday. So, and then I also did a little thing with the moon phase, because I'm a moon nerd, and it's supposed to be first quarter moon, so 50%.
Gibbous.
Yeah, it's first quarter, so it's not that. So, Come on, even better than that. So obviously, I gotta with all of that kind of given to you both. Give me your general guess for what do you think a winning weight's going to be?
It'll take.
This does not qualify you for weekend bass fisherman. You still.
Oh, come on!
It'll take 20.
Take I was gonna
20.4.
I was gonna say 19.5.
See, I guess so high last time, and then I was destroyed when 15.84 won our tournament.
I mean, the A rig bite's getting a little better.
It's getting better, but if the wind is truly 5 to 10 miles per hour, it's like the exact same thing what it was last time. I think the jig bite might be
catch them on a jerk bait. You can catch them on a glide bait. Then, like the water's still warm enough, you can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's true. If it's 5 degrees, I'm gonna throw the Chapo.
With the current water 1055, I haven't been looking at the weather much. Is there any cold snaps between now and tournament day, or is it going to be Friday. Rather warm, like 50s, 40s?
Not as cold as it was this last Sunday when it got down to the
only like 1 day. So
pretty average. So it'll probably stay fairly warm.
I would think so.
Very mild. Change all that much. So yeah, there'll be a lot in play still. People, you can still crank.
Okay, so I'm going to lock my guess in at 17. So I'm going to be on the low side. I'm going to be the pessimistic person on this one.
20.4 the last I think the last 3 tournaments have taken all over 20 pounds to win.
It's been a minute now. It was the week after.
Angry Pirate took like 22.
Yeah, 22.
And then there was one on the weekend, I think, that took 20. And then that was on Saturday. I can't remember which one it was. I think there's one on Sunday that took like 20 or 21 to win.
Yeah, so I guess we just had a fluke day. Because even what did it take to win this? There was the championship for Just Fish, right? They had a tournament same day as ours. And
that took more. That took 19 pounds or something.
And then it fell off. I think second place was 16 something.
16, yeah.
So
with the Winter Series tournament, the top 6 places also, it was all very tight weights. It only took 15, 14, I think.
Yeah, 15.84 pounds when you broke it into decimal. But yes.
Okay. It was to win it overall, but from 1st to 6th, it was, total of probably 6 to 8 ounces between everybody in difference. Everyone was in the 15s.
Except for 6th place was like 14 or something.
Oh, they were 14. Okay.
Yeah, we can look on the thing here.
Oh, yeah, look at the standings. Look at that.
It doesn't show up well on a computer. It always wants to move it. Our IT guy here, Ryan, he needs to help me try and stretch this out.
I need to just make you guys a new website.
Yeah, we need a new website maybe.
So
anyway, you can see the weights. The weights were tight.
They were tight. If you aren't aware, also, so you see 4th and 5th up there. If Austin scrolls up just a touch, this is the point standings. If you're not aware that this is a series,
there's the points here.
You are competing for the prizes up top, like overall points champion will win first, second, first place, obviously, if you're in first. But
yeah,
but
now if you look at your
extra money
phone, because it never works on this desktop every time it ever wants to work. If you look on your phone, you can scroll all the way down, and you can go through the like standings. There's a standings category, so I need to work on that so it displays properly on a computer.
Yeah, because I bet a lot of people view from their computer.
Yeah, but
okay, I got another question for you guys on what do you guys think it'll take to bring home a check?
To bring home a check,
like basic places. So
usually like 14 something.
14.
I was going to say like 13-ish, but last time I said 14 is a pretty good safe bet.
I feel like we get like 2 people that'll catch like 20 something, and then like it kind of drop off. Like 2 people are close, and then it kind of drops off, and then it slowly. I feel like a 14 or 15 pound bag is like just a good solid. That's a good
Ozark day.
It gives you a good chance for sure to walk home with some money. Guaranteed, no, but it's if you got 14, 15 pounds, that's where you want to be in your head before 3:30 comes. Like, all right, I got a chance to win. Let's try and get back in time. Or if you have your small 5 keepers also want to get back, and you're like, all right, I gotta weigh in.
Yeah, we'll see if that whoever brings in a bag of 5 spots is going to break the record for smallest 5 bags.
Eventually, somebody is gonna.
It's going to strategically do it.
Yeah,
Might
they're
be
gonna
me.
fish wave breaks or find other school spots on like Bluff End or something.
Mm-hmm. Just load up.
Work them for 2 hours.
Yep.
Take
your 150 and run
to get your limit. And then you'll be going down. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, that would be great. And then you get beat out by somebody with a smaller bag, and you're just like, "What is this?"
It sounds like I need to go help out with Amelia. She's really losing it in there. But,
oh, is she?
So I'm gonna step off. But thanks, guys, for having me. Joining you guys. It was total blast helping you out, Nate, with the tournament. If you guys need help in future ones, let me know. I don't live far away, so I can come by and at least help it for whether it's sign in or weigh in. I can come help you guys just get some stuff. Hopefully relieve a little stress from you or something, or just be the guy that passes out the bush light.
Hey, that was a big help too. There's a lot of things in that. Something about day old cold donuts and beer at the end of the day that goes down good with anglers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In the future, just absolutely reach out. It was fun getting to see everybody. Hopefully I'll have a boat in at some point in time. I just keep losing the lottery, I feel like, and never did get to purchase a boat. So one day I'd love to actually be able to fish, or if we one of us fish together and someone else goes out solo. So it was a blast, and I appreciate you guys having me on here, and glad that I was able to fill into the tournament. And good luck to everybody else on the 27th and the remainder of the series. Go out, catch good bags, and I hope to see the good video highlights of someone bringing in some nice 8-pounders again, because supposedly you guys have good luck at your tournament.
Yeah,
you've had what two or three tournaments?
8-pounders.
Tournament, yeah. So that's
1
pretty
year,
awesome.
so we got to meet the quota. Yeah. Somebody's got to catch one.
Yeah,
it'll be me. It'll be me.
It'll be me. I'll carry the team this year.
No, that's just a lie. That's a straight lie.
My partner couldn't even catch the limit.
Shut up.
Hard to catch 2 or 3.
These guys,
I caught 3. And I caught way more than that.
These guys never catch a limit because they spend their whole time on the boat bantering at each other instead of focusing and trying to catch fish.
He couldn't do it without me.
I know where we get the limit, and he says, "Oh, we're not going there."
Oh God! Caught another one.
See, this is exactly why it never happened.
A-rig. Let's go over here. We already been over there. We didn't catch anything but shorts.
Yeah. So
Ryan, if you got
all right, guys.
See you later.
Yeah. If you had something I can stick around for a minute.
No, I just got to talk. We're going to go over our plan for the 27th. Share it with everybody a little bit. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Right.
We appreciate you.
See you later.
All right. See ya. Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right, real quick, Austin. So before we get out of here, plan for the day. Imagine that. I'd show it to you, but hard to see on camera. Catch 5 keepers. Now, granted, I said plan for the day, not goal, because every time we set that goal,
we don't do goals anymore.
We gave up on goals.
No, I just take it back. Our goal is to have a smooth run tournament.
That's right.
Which we're successful in that.
I say we're bad at goals. Should we make that our goal? Anyway, so yeah, obviously 5 keepers. I'm excited to have you back in the boat. It's like when we had the Great Divorce last year. Nobody's familiar with our Great Divorce. Austin and I thought we were cursed, so we're like, I'm going to fish in my boat solo. He's going to fish in his boat solo. And by the end of by the first couple hours, we're calling each other like, "You doing any good?"
If we would have just fished together, we would have a chance of catching a limit.
Yeah. So the Great Divorce lasted a whole 1 tournament, probably never to be done again. I think in my head right now, obviously the A-rig's going to be a factor. The jerkbait's going to be a factor. The jig's going to be a factor. With warm temperature, there could be a morning topwater factor, possibly. And then especially, I don't know, I'm not going to just completely sell out to that A-rig like I did this last tournament.
Yeah.
Because if the wind's not there, you can't force it. I think I'm so guilty.
Yeah, I know.
Forcing it.
It's aggravating though when it's not windy, because I think we'll get into this we're gonna have Andy Messina on in January. Which, if people don't
Ooh.
know who Andy Messina is, he's a guide at the lake, but he's like a jerkbait wizard.
He's a wizard.
So we're gonna talk to him a little bit about this, but I think he'll probably go over this a little of the A-rig, the pulling power that the A-rig has. There's no other bait that you can use this time of the year and leading up into winter and through winter that will get fish to show themselves as easy as the A-rig. To where you can go down a bank and you might not see them on live scope because a lot of times if they're hard on the bottom, you don't really see them. But you throw that rig on like a steep channel bank or something, and those fish show themselves. So it's hard to not get in a trap sometimes when it's not windy throwing the A-rig because those fish constantly will show themselves. But like they won't commit. So then you're stuck in a loop of okay, I know what I need to do. I just need to change this. I need to change this. And you just keep trying to change and change and change when in reality, the A-rig's probably not the best thing for those conditions. I'm not saying that it can't work or maybe something's not off on your rig because we've had that happen too. But it seems like maybe if you throw like a jig or you get a jerk bait down to them, or even like a jig head minnow type thing, you can capitalize on some of those bites. So if it's not windy, we'll throw the rig to an extent, I'm sure.
Yeah. I know I will.
Over targets and things of that nature. But I think a lot of fish have been really close to the bank lately, like a lot shallower than people maybe think. I don't know. But whether that's with a jerk bait or a rig, I know you said you caught your 4-pounder shallow.
Right off the bank.
So you still got your crankbaits in. I know people are throwing glides on some bigger rock. And really the water, it's so weird. The water's like warm enough that if you kind of look back in history, some of these water temps are closer to what you would see like in October, late October-ish. And that's kind of like a famous time for finding the bigger rock with the big gizzard shad and throwing your top waters, throwing your glide baits. The glides are kind of the new thing, but throwing that type of thing to mimic the big gizzard shad, and people are catching big bags doing that. So I know like it's kind of just an awkward time, I guess. Let's see. Somebody commented they got out today and we're throwing just some gravel banks.
Bam. Exactly what I was talking about.
Hammering it. So
excited to get into a few of these tournaments. Hey,
come on. It also sounds like they were chasing them and turning away too. So kind of what I was talking about, maybe a little bit of both. But I don't know. I think that's the trap that I'm definitely guilty of getting on the A-rig because I've had so many good days on it.
Sure, especially in the beginning. I think everybody had good days, but that is a key of fishing an A-rig. If you're solo, you're kind of at a disadvantage if you don't have it just dialed in just right.
Yeah.
Where Austin and I thrive is like he's like, hey, what color are you throwing? What profile are you throwing? What kind of rig are you throwing? I'm not doing that, and we're gonna go and kind of be a little bit different. We can kind of get it figured out if there's a bite on the A-rig, what's working best, and then adjust to that. It's not to say that one of us might not throw like a Franken rig or something at the beginning. If you don't know what that is, that's like basically a different bait on every dummy color. And obviously you can only have 3 hooks, but you'll find out real quick. Eventually, if they start eating your dummies, you're going to be like, well, they must want that color. So you switch it out, put it on the hook, and then go from there, see if it makes a difference.
We used to do that at Table Rock a lot.
All the time.
Fish Table Rock. That's where we started fishing the A-rig back in the day, or live scope or anything. And that's how we did it. It's mostly a clear water lake. We'd sometimes fish in the creeks that were a little more stained. So we kind of had a gamut of colors that we would run through based on the conditions. But it was definitely certain colors would get bit way more than others. So we would definitely always make sure that we're not throwing the same color at the start. Usually one person would be whooping up on the other person, or it'd be close, and then one person would run away. But then we would swap, so we're on the same color at that point. Basically, so people definitely helps, and even not A-rig fishing, it helps because one guy can be throwing. Say we're fishing shallow up on the bank, one guy can be throwing a jerk bait sliding it down, fishing the first
Throw a
8
jig.
off the bank or whatever.
Mhm.
The other guy could throw a crank if he wanted to, or he could throw a jig, or he could throw heck, I know people throw glides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just mixing it up. Just easy with 2 people to don't do the same thing is what I guess I'm getting at.
And unless you're just hammering them or you got it figured out. If you got it figured out, then key in and be like, okay, well, this is working right now. And then pay attention. If it's working right now and then an hour later it kind of slows off, be like, either we got to find a new spot, something changed. Like,
Yeah. And here's Dylan saying that the bankfish were biting, but the suspended fish just wouldn't commit. And probably do some with the wind, maybe. I don't know. It gets windy, you get the fish up shallow. When the fish are shallow, they usually want to eat.
Mhm.
When the fish are suspended, they don't always want to eat. You got to make them eat. So
yeah, it's a
way to look at it too.
And it's like I said earlier, I don't know if anybody caught it or not. And there's been studies on this. I don't know which side I go to, but for whatever reason, and I don't even know what I believe when it comes to this, but if the fish can really tell whatever frequency is pinging on them or whatever, I don't know if that affects them or not. I guess there's going to be a lot of people that say it does matter. A lot of people that say it doesn't matter at all. For whatever reason, in my head, that tournament day, I was shining my scope away because that was the only way I was getting them. Otherwise, exactly like Dylan said, they chase up to my rig and swim back down, and that's just what I was seeing.
Yeah, I don't know which side of that I'm on. I haven't been in the water like with live scope on. Like I haven't had live scope on and like put your ears under the water and see if like you can hear.
We can make that happen on 27th. You get in, I'll shine it over to you.
But like for sure, if you have your 2D sonar or whatever, or your side imaging, down imaging on, like you can hear that. You can hear it pinging through, which I know fish aren't the same as us. Like what we hear might not be what they hear, blah, blah, blah. But, they definitely have like vibration, lateral type lines, senses, that we probably can't pick up on. So I don't know if the frequency is high enough that they don't know that it's on them or they don't feel it. But I almost feel like there has to be somewhat of like a feeling for them, especially with the amount of pressure.
Something else I want to say about that rig real quick is there are just days when the rig bite's working, it almost doesn't seem to matter. Like you can almost throw any color as long as you got the right, basically profile size.
Yeah.
If they're smashing it, they're smashing it. But there are days when color and size absolutely matters. And it's kind of like, I guess it's up to you really to obviously figure it out. If they're not just smashing it, that's when you start playing do I have the right color? Oh, do I have the right size? Oh, does my rig need 11 arms instead of 3 arms?
Yeah.
It all can matter. It can all make a difference. And that's what I've definitely picked up on. Gosh, how long has it been, Austin? The last 7 or 8 years of throwing A-rigs?
Yeah.
It's probably one of the
most of the days that I've done really, really, really well. Not just caught a bunch of fish, but like caught like
big fish.
And you pay attention, it's like all of like the 5-pound fish will always seem to key in on the same thing, whether it's like it's your center one because it's bigger or whatever, or it's slightly different. It's like for most of my memories, I feel like all the really big fish you catch in a day, they're all on the same bait. That's what they're keying in on, I guess.
For whatever reason, and we've talked about this too with other people, but obviously the rig's getting so popular. I think fish are kind of just getting a little bit more adjusted to it. But it used to be, it seemed like every time you go out, somebody was going to catch like a close to 5-pounder on the rig every time. And I have multiple photos in my phone where we have trips where we both have 5-pounders and then some heavy 3s, maybe if not another 4, where, me and you were catching 19-pound bags and we're like, dang, we're kind of good.
Never mind, we're not.
Never mind. We'll just stick to the 5 spots.
Yeah.
But no, I look forward to it. I'm excited to have you back. Ryan was a great help, but the old bread and butter will be back. Who's bread? Who's butter? You're definitely butter.
Yeah.
So, but you getting a visitor?
I think it's Margaret.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
But anyway, so on top of all of that, I think that's basically going to cap it. Like Austin said, we're going to have a sit down podcast with Andy Messina. Right now, it's planned for January 6th. So mark
Yeah,
your calendars.
the
Again,
tentative date. And
if
bring your questions.
bring your questions,
For jerkbait.
absolutely.
This is probably the best jerkbait person on Lake the Ozarks.
Mhm.
Sure. Maybe in the surrounding region.
He's very good, and I am very excited. And my notebook's going to be full.
Him and his son,
Caden.
won one of our tournaments last year.
Mm-hmm.
Would they have 24
something,
24 pounds? And I believe
wasn't second place 18.
Yeah, they like spanked him, and I believe Caden said that particular day they caught him
all on a
jerkbait, except they had one. I think their big one that day was on a jig.
Oh,
so
just a monster bag.
Yeah, but we'll be able to talk and pick Andy's brain a little bit on what he likes to do and how he kind of goes about it. Because I've always said, I've had some videos in the past on jerkbaits and stuff and kind of how we went about it. But like, I feel like jerkbaits might be one of the hardest things to dial in.
I know I
probably make it harder than it has to be. Maybe like
I know
maybe his method's simpler. Like, don't give you that many options. But if you want to have options, jerkbaits is the thing where you can go down a rabbit hole and be like, "This is too much." Like, I don't even know what to throw now. But
I'm already so excited. I'm smiling ear to ear. I have so many good questions already. I can't wait.
But
it's going to be good.
I don't know. I think just having the confidence in what you're doing probably in jerkbaits.
Just like anything else, confidence is probably half of fishing.
Really slow down and take your time and do what you need to do. But we're definitely will be picking his brain.
Yes.
A lot of good questions because that was the old school. That was what you did before you had A-rigs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You toss a jerkbait around. And there's some really good older people that have been fishing for a lot longer than we have that have got the secrets.
Mm-hmm. So definitely tune into that. You're not going to want to miss it. Tell your friends and bring your questions again, please, because you can ask them on here live if you're watching this recorded, and we'll pull them up and try to get as many as we possibly can answered. Not that we have usually that many, but maybe next month will be an exception. But I just want to say thanks to everybody for supporting us in our podcast adventure. Can't believe we made it a whole year, Austin. I'm proud of us.
I know. That's good.
I'm such a loser. But, you
can find us starting on the AM radio.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? Ooh, that's what we're going to do when we're like 60. Like, here we go out on Lake the Ozarks.
We'll have 2 listeners.
One
person more. One on AM radio. Yeah. One person will be in like California.
Listen to these losers in Missouri catching small bass.
And the other one's like my mom or something.
Hey, yeah, that's what that'll
radio.
I love it, but no, I think that's gonna do it though for us for tonight's show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. We hope you tune into some more. We have this went well. This was our first test year of the podcast, and we've gotten good feedback so far. So we're going to continue, and we just try to do one a month with our busy lives and schedules. And actually, this one wasn't really advertised, so I apologize for that. I was kind of waiting, maybe work, maybe calling, might have had to reschedule. So you might be watching this recorded, and that's okay. So the next one, I'll make sure I put out plenty time in advance.
Yeah, we're going to put out a big one for Andy.
Because that's going to be a special one. And we'll have more fun and exciting guests, not just your 2 generic knuckleheads like us 2 right here, right now. Mm-hmm. So, but either way, I want to remind everybody again, Saturday, December 27th, it's the Saturday after Christmas. Come on out and fish the second tournament of our winter series at Lake the Ozarks at Kaufman Beach. Tournament hours are 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Registration starts at 6. You can pre-register at our website to get your Save Your Boat number and be qualified for pre-registration prizes. And we pay big spot, smallest 5 limit, and there is a Mo bonus for apparel. And there's also the Weekend Bass Fisherman bonus. So if you haven't already, check out the Weekend Bass Fisherman on Facebook. Austin and I are actually admins, so we can add you into the group. And that, again, is 100% funded by Steve Sigmund. So, Steve, thank you for the contribution for our tournaments. So I think that wraps it up, though. You got anything else, Austin?
No, I don't think so. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fish before our tournament. Probably not. So we'll
I'm
be trout
definitely not.
fishing.
Oh
But-
yeah, trout fishing.
But we won't be bass fishing. So
Yeah,
we'll just roll into it blind,
like we always do.
like we normally do.
And I can't get there early that day, so it'll be another day of no pre-fishing for me. So I'll just be either listening to you or blind.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure either, but unfortunately, I know the boat needs gas.
Imagine that. He's not very prepared. If you guys haven't, I'm the prepared one here.
I had to go. I didn't have time. I was on a
Yeah.
time crunch. I had to clean my crappie. I was like, I don't have time. I gotta
You
go.
know what he said instead? He was out there on the water and he's like, "Oh, just one more cast." I was sat there for about 20 minutes. He's like, "You know what I could have done in this 20 minutes? I could have got gas, so me and Nathan wouldn't have to."
Well,
be
you know
there."
what? To be truthful, what I did is, I drove past where I could have got gas,
Classic.
and I did make just a few casts at one particular spot to check on the crappie, and idled around a little bit. And I was like, I gotta go. I gotta clean these fish. I was supposed to be off the water 20 minutes ago.
There it is. 20 minutes. Could have got the fuel, but no, I deal with this all the time. I take tips. Thank you for the gratitude. Oh gosh, but
I can't help myself.
I get it. I'm the same way usually. But all right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and stay tuned January 6th for the next podcast. And come fish with us. It's going to be a blast. We're looking forward to it. I know it's Christmas time, so we want to take a second, wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Christmas, happy holidays.
Yep, it is a wonderful time of the year. Be with family, be with friends, and get out and fish if you have any time.
Soak up the great outdoors.
Or deer hunt. That's still open. So if you live in Missouri, but other places too. But thanks again for watching. We will see you guys in the next video and podcast.
Yep. See you guys on the next one. Later.